When we created Pacific Crest, we were looking for students who needed a small environment where they could thrive, where they knew that they would have a voice and where their creativity and their intellect would be challenged.
My freshman year, I found classes that were gigantic, up to 40 people, where we had students sitting on radiators. Community wasn't something that could be found unless you were involved in a sports team or something of that nature.
In geometry, he basically taught himself.
In geometry, my freshman year, I had a teacher who basically would assign coursework. He would say, do, let's say, this problem, number 1 to 30, and then go on his computer for the rest of the day.
He went from being excited about learning to more and more closed off, and I started getting worried about him. One day we were driving home and I asked him how his day was, and he looked at me and he said, I can't do this one more day. And I knew he meant it.
I was hoping to find something like I had at Da Vinci, where students cared about one another, where there was close support from teachers to students.
We looked for a school that had a real sense of community and caring, because I knew he would thrive in that.
We've created a place where students' voices can be heard, and what they have to offer is embraced and welcomed. The hope is that through that they will do their very best.
We attended the community meeting to find out what Pacific Crest was all about, and we didn't talk until the way home. And when I asked him what it was like, he looked at me and he said, "When can I start?"
One of the real strengths to Pacific Crest is that the students are devoted to each other's successes.
Pacific Crest was, it almost exemplified Portland, what I think of Portland being in the keep Portland weird aspect. There was respect.
For me, it was just wow.
It was a place that I immediately wanted to be a part of. The classes were engaging, so much more so than I had found at Cleveland. The teachers seemed passionate, interested, and very knowledgeable about their subjects.
Students have the opportunity to develop their own curriculum at Pacific Crest, and we will support that. The variety of courses, when they take the classes and how they approach them, has a lot of flexibility, and we have found that brings out the best in their work.
I wanted to learn more immediately.
Once I started attending Pacific Crest, the old Aya came back.
Aya's learning style is infectious.
It made me feel like I was working with professionals. Pacific Crest has opened my eyes and re-inspired me to learn and be open to learning.
When I first met Aya, I met a very quiet, retired boy who clearly was very bright and hungry to learn. He also has done amazing work in speaking publicly with people who are interested in the school, and it has humbled me.
If it weren't for Pacific Crest, I don't think I would be in school, honestly.
If it wasn't for Pacific Crest, I don't believe Aya would have still been in school.
He has become a very important part of our school community.
Pacific Crest offered me a way to stay interested in learning, education, and schooling, and without it, I don't think I'd be going to college.
I am very excited for Aya and what will happen beyond the walls of Pacific Crest.
Aya has always been an amazing person. And when we saw that the regular school system was killing that in him, and Pacific Crest brought it back and actually made it grow even stronger, it means the world to us. Thank you, Pacific Crest.